Welcome to the Right Hand Roadmap, the podcast for seconds in command of founder-led companies. I'm your host, Megan Long, owner of Second First. In each episode, we show you the path to success on your journey as the #2 leader in entrepreneurial companies. I am so happy you are here. In this episode, we're going to be talking about how to take the relationship with your CEO to the next level. The first step is truly understanding where you and your CEO stand in your relationship. So we have a new quiz on our website. It's called the Partnership Alignment Checkup. How in sync are you as second in command and CEO? So if you go to secondfirst.com/24, we'll link it in the show notes, and it also should come up on our homepage, the Second First homepage as well. After you take that quiz, there are really 3 options. You're in lockstep, there's deep trust, you have open and honest communication, and you're really aligned. They share their vision and strategy, and you can effectively create the plan to get there, make that vision a reality. The second is that you have a good foundation, you're solid, but there's opportunity to improve. You might not be totally comfortable with them yet, or you're not 100% aligned on the big picture of the business. And finally, there's the third option, which is you're struggling, and it's not only hurting you, but it's hurting the business as well. This is when you know you need to fix things, but you might not know how to improve, or you need to make a hard decision whether you're right for that CEO in that company. We've talked about this idea of a force multiplier before, right? So in military science, force multiplication or a force multiplier is a factor or a combination of factors that give personnel or weapons the ability to accomplish greater feats with it than without it. So you, the second in command, should feel like you are that force multiplier for your CEO or for your business. But how do we get there? I call them the 3 C's. There's communication, coaching, and community. We are going to hit some rapid fire ways, like a checklist, to start to enhance the partnership between you and your CEO. So not every idea has to be implemented for a successful relationship, but each will have a positive impact on both the business and how you work together as a duo. All right, like I said, we're going to rapid fire these. So let's go. Okay, so the first C to unlock this force multiplier concept with your CEO is communication. So here are some ideas to improve the communication between you and your CEO. First is making sure that you have regularly scheduled one-on-ones that are used only to align on big picture, large-scale issues and the vision. So this is not your weekly one-on-one where you talk about tactical things. This is big picture only. And usually I recommend having these once a month. Second, a shared list of ideas for you both to collaborate on and later prioritize as initiatives. So just like a parking lot of ideas that you both can add to. Next, an agreed upon method for you to share updates and visibility on major projects with your CEO. And this is going to vary wildly from person to person. It just depends on what method works the best for you two. And then last is a documented segregation of roles, responsibilities, accountabilities, all communicated to your leadership team. You would be amazed on how gray the line between the CEO and the CEO gets, or first in command and second in command gets, for your leadership team on who do I go to for what. So this will really help not only provide clarity for you two as a duo, but clarity for the rest of the company. All right, the second C is coaching. And when we say coaching, we don't mean formal coaching necessarily, but here's an example. Repeat back what you hear your CEO say or request. Okay, so that's a simple coaching note, but when they ask you to do something, just say, okay, great. To confirm, what I hear you say is blank. Because entrepreneurs and CEOs are usually like 10 steps ahead of where the conversation is right now. So sometimes they're not communicating exactly what they think they're communicating, or sometimes you just it's easy to misinterpret. So if you repeat back, then you can really make sure that you're on the same page. I would say 50% of the time when you repeat back to them what you heard them say, they'll say, "Oh gosh, no. Okay, that's not what I was trying to communicate. Let me explain." Next, they see urgent and important. So they operate on that very traditional Eisenhower matrix of things that are urgent and important, while you, on the other hand, see the impact of things and the effort required to accomplish them. So, because you operate on different axes, basically, you always prioritize work and initiatives together. So you help each other understand your priorities in a way that the other might not be thinking. It gives another dimension to that decision making. And then finally, explore options for leadership and executive coaching for you as a second in command. This can really help with not only accountability of the rest of your leadership team, but also tying operations back to their vision or just having a sounding board as you work through some of these big goals. And the third C is community. So, of course, you have heard about our mastermind program at Second First. That is a very formal form of community for the second in command, which, of course, I love. But let's talk about other informal options. So, a connection or connections within your vertical for you as a second in command to reach out to with industry specific questions. So there are usually going to be peer groups or organizations, like professional organizations, that you can join as a member and really build relationships within your niche, within your vertical. And then the other form of community that I recommend are finding connections of other seconds in command of founder-led companies that are close to your revenue and employee size. So an example would be if your CEO is a member of EO, you could ask them, "Hey, I know that you're in a forum, which is like their small group in EO. Would you all talk about maybe making introductions for all of us as your seconds in command, just so we could have similar connections?" Like one step below, farther in the weeds than they are. Similarly, if your CEO is in like Vistage or any of these other organizations, just say like, "Hey, the next time you talk to your entrepreneur friends, if you could maybe pitch the idea of making some email intros to their other COOs, I would love that." All right, so go take the quiz. And hopefully, this will give you some ideas to get started on deepening your partnership and taking it to the next level. To find show notes and links to anything mentioned in this episode, visit secondfirst.com/24. Be sure to subscribe to catch future episodes, and please leave us a review on whatever platform you're listening on. I know that we say that every episode, but it really, really means a lot, and it really, really helps us out. So thank you for doing that. And remember, you don't have to navigate being a second in command alone when you have the right hand roadmap.